Welcome to the Midnight Horror Club. My name is Dina Anderson, and on this channel we talk all things horror, crime, conspiracy theories, and scary stories. If that's something you're interested in, then please subscribe and let's get started. Welcome back to another episode of the Midnight Horror Club. Today is Sleepover Saturday, where I'm going to be sharing 3 creepy camping stories with you. I love camping. I go camping multiple times a year. I go normal camping and then I also do wild camping. And it's basically where you go find a random forest and you just pick your spot and camp for however long you want. And the reason why it's good is because it's free and normally you don't see any humans on the trip. The first time I went wild camping, I actually thought I was gonna die. Me and my fiance, we found a random forest to camp in somewhere in Sussex, and we were gonna stay there for 2 days. We were just gonna eat, read, and relax in our hammocks. On the first night there, I get woken up by someone screaming and I instantly just froze. I could not move my body. So normally we sleep in a tent, but this time, because it's wild camping, we brought our hammocks and we were going to sleep in them. And the only thing that was really protecting us was what's it called? A tarp? There was like a roof above us and then kind of like tilted to the side. So that was like the only protection we had. And so I got woken up by someone screaming, and then I heard footsteps in our fucking campsite. And bear in mind, we had been walking for an hour to find that campsite. We tried to find the most remote bit of the forest that we could. So it's not a place where you normally see any people. So anyways, I hear someone walking and it sounds like it's getting closer to me. So I was like in shock, freezing, shaking, and then I was dripping with sweat. And I was just like, oh my God, someone's gonna fucking stab me. And then I heard their scream again. And this time it sounded a bit different. And then the person ran away. But it sounded really odd when they started running away. I discovered that this wasn't a person. This was a flock of animals. So no one was there. I just freaked myself out. The day after, we both talked about it, and he apparently woke up too. So we were both in our hammocks just like getting ready to die, and it was just animals looking for food. After the camping trip, I actually went home on YouTube to listen to animal sounds in a forest at night, because I realized that even though I grew up in nature, I grew up in the middle of nowhere, I've always had a strong connection to nature. And I've also been going to cabins in Sweden since I was a kid. And I realized that even though I've been so close with nature, I have no fucking clue what it sounds like at night, because I'm never actually out in nature at night. So anyways, I did some research and Jesus fucking Christ, it just sounds insane at night. So yeah, that's my camping story. Okay, so before we begin, I want to show you my snacks. So obviously this is a sleepover and you have to have snacks. So the other day I was sent chocolate. Okay, so there's not a lot left, but I'm gonna be eating these delicious fucking popcorn. It's popcorn coated in vegan caramel and dark chocolate. So I'm gonna be eating those. I'm also gonna be eating these. They are so fucking good. Okay, I'm just gonna taste one of these. The chocolate balls, 10 out of 10. The popcorn, 8 out of 10. Fuck, they're really good. So enough about the snacks. Let's get into the creepy camping stories. So hop into something comfortable, grab a snack and a drink, a blanket, and let's get started. Story number 1, camping alone. In the 1990s, I was a very accomplished camper and survival enthusiast. I enjoyed going on solo trips for 2 weeks or so, completely on my own. Before heading out to my destination, I would stop at a store to get some supplies, have a nice chat with the person working, and get hyped for my camping trip. On the camping trip, I would always see a lot of animals, but never any people. I would see foxes, bears, birds, but that's it. It was great spending my time reading and just traveling around. For each trip, I would take 10 to 14 disposable film cameras with me. A couple of days after one of my trips, I took the cameras in to be developed. When I got them back, I was sitting with my husband at home looking through the pictures. Once I got to the 4th roll, I almost had a heart attack. I found a picture of myself sleeping at one of my campsites. I swear I didn't see another person anywhere on that trip, so who took the photo? After that happened, I never went camping alone again. God knows what could have happened. I still don't understand who took it. I was completely alone, and I would have heard it if someone came walking in the middle of the night. Story number 2, The Haunted Cabin. I once stayed in a cabin in Arkansas facing the river. One side of the cabin was almost all window with no blinds or anything, which made me feel really creeped out, especially the first time it got dark and you couldn't see outside. The first night we stayed there, this beating started on all sides of the cabin. It was loud and eerily fast-paced. Moved from one wall to the next, to the roof, and so on. A few times the gas-powered fireplace would roar up and then go out. The TV would turn on and just be static, really cliche stuff. We would also hear whispering at night, and because I was too much of a wuss to sleep with the lights off after the first night, we left the hallway lights on and the bedroom door shut and locked. Until we started seeing shadows under the door. It looked like people were stood right outside our door. We got the fuck out of there. I don't know if the place was poorly built or people were messing with us or what, but the shadows under the door was too much for me. Story number 3, The White Figure. After finishing our exams, a group of my friends and I went camping. On the whole huge campground, there was pretty much just us and a group of Irish scouts. So we all ended up hanging out together along with the guys who ran all the activities on the site. Technically, any activity had to be booked and paid for in advance, but these guys were bored, so they let us do anything that didn't involve expensive equipment for free. On our last night, they took us on a ghost walk. It was pretty boring. It was so boring that we actually ended up taking over and started telling them creepy stories. When we were all pretty much ready for bed, our group went across the field to our tents, all laughing, joking, until one of the other girls stopped still and said loudly, "What's that in front of our tent?" There was a short, white figure pacing in front of one of our tents, about 30 feet away from us. It was dark, but we could all see it as if it was a solid-looking shape. One of the girls screamed and it stopped pacing and rushed at us. I have never run faster in my life. I lost my shoes halfway across the field and kept going straight onto the tarmac road and down to the activities building. We went back with about 20 scouts and some buff guys with big lanterns, but there was nothing to be seen. God knows what it was. It was probably just the mist or something. Ooh, the last story was creepy. If I saw a white figure, I would run while peeing myself. Oh, that's creepy. It could be the mist, but also if it's a figure and it's running towards them. Oh, yikes. But yeah, I think that's definitely the scariest story. I also thought the one... Oh, that's annoying. Can you hear that? I also think the first one with the woman going camping alone and then she sees a picture of herself sleeping. No wonder she didn't go camping again. Yeah. So I'm curious to know which story you thought was the scariest. Let me know in the comments. Alright, that is it for this video. So thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you next time in the Midnight Horror Club.